Well, the European football body UEFA is considering legal action against FIFA President Gianni Infantino over his failed plan to sell off a stake in the World Cup to private investors. As pressure mounts on Mr. Infantino's leadership, a US report claims he unsuccessfully tried to gain backing from the US President Donald Trump. Andy Harper is a football commentator and says the current state of the FIFA presidency is an unmitigated disaster.
If I was to say it was a train wreck, I think I'd be understating the case. Infantino's tenure is hanging by a thread. I don't think there's any two ways about that. People's eagerness for that scenario to unfold more fully should be tempered by the fact that in any political structure, things can change very quickly. Indeed, things have changed quickly to get to this point. To see the sort of the Infantino administration, or at least his tenure, unravelling at breakneck speed is one thing, but things in any political organisation can change quickly. Now, he'll be clutching at all sorts of straws, looking for an escape from this particular set of circumstances, and that might come in one form or another. We're not to know. Well, I'm certainly not. But as we're sitting and speaking now, this is an unmitigated disaster and completely self-inflicted.
Yes. So one of those straws could be from what the New York Times has put out, a report that Infantino tried to ring the US president to get support, but has failed to get a phone call with Donald Trump. If this is true, though, does it indicate how desperate Infantino is at the moment to try and keep his job?
Yeah, look, he's completely desperate. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Look, I can't comment on the veracity of those reports. I have seen them. But to me, in some senses, it magnifies the hubris and the naivety, if I can put it that way. I mean, that's probably a bad choice of words, but Infantino clearly has lost the ability to read the room. And if he is going to Donald Trump for support, as understandable in some senses that may be, I think that's actually raking over the issue which has brought him to this point. The Infantino leadership has been causing a lot of comment for a while now. This is not a reaction to a singular issue about hiving off a percentage of FIFA to a private equity firm and the commercial rights there too. This is the result of a series of Infantino actions that have caused a lot of consternation. Getting into the World Cup, which was such a wonderful tournament, and credit to FIFA for that. Just as an aside, I don't think there's any question about the effectiveness of the FIFA bureaucracy to run a top-class competition. They're fantastic at it. And the World Cup in North America just passed was another example. Nevertheless, going into the World Cup with a few of the things that Infantino had championed, has had people in football holding their nose to a large extent. And as the World Cup was unfolding, more and more incidents took place which actually built behind that sense of opposition to what Infantino was standing for. And the intervention of the US president in the suspension of US player Fallon Balogun was a seminal moment. And I don't think Infantino seems to have read the room on the anti-American sentiment that's been generated.
Yes, and he's doubling down despite, even some senior FIFA executives quitting publicly over, the various sagas you've just mentioned. Would that, and also the fact that UEFA is considering, investigations into Infantino, do you think we might see Infantino resign before the next FIFA election in March next year?
I don't think he's going to give it up easily. This is a lifetime post, a lifetime ambition. I mean, there'd be a lot of people in the world who would dream. I don't have to be one of them, but I could imagine there's a lot of people in the world who get on the political escalator, and to be the president of FIFA is an incredibly prestigious post, a hugely responsible position. And there's a lot of people who'd be craving for that. Infantino's occupied that seat for over a decade. He's not going to give it up lightly. However, I don't know quite how he survives this, notwithstanding my initial comments that any political organisation, things can change really quickly.
Yes. And if he does run in the election, who might be the other leading candidates? Who would UEFA be backing to succeed in? Because I think he has the right to run for a final term, Infantino.
I think it's March or something next year that the normal course of events, Infantino would put to the FIFA Congress that I get another run at leading the thing, and that would be for a final term of 4 years. What's happening at the moment is his opponents are doing two things. They're trying to build pressure to the point where it can no longer be borne by Infantino, and he resigns. That would be the path of least resistance, which a lot of this pressure and a lot of these attacks are trying to yield. Or the medium-term course is to organise for an extraordinary general meeting where they need to get a certain threshold of people dissenting in the FIFA Congress, and they can call an extraordinary general meeting and go through the political democratic process then of voting him out of office. So there are three courses of action. He resigns, it goes to an EGM, or the whole thing runs its course to the next FIFA Congress and he stands for election. I can't see it getting that far down the track. I think it'll be one of the first two. Does he survive an EGM? Look, who knows how this goes, and which of the personalities from around the FIFA Congresses is going to emerge. I can't see anyone necessarily out of Europe, because that would make Europe look like this is a European putsch, if I could put it that way, and a lot of the other confederations would resist that. The most outstanding candidate is the Qatari who owns PSG, but he's already disavowed himself of any interest, and Qatar has fallen in behind, interestingly, behind Infantino, whereas the rest of the AFC has distanced themselves from Infantino. I suspect a candidate will emerge out of CONCACAF, maybe Canada or the US. They were very quick out of the blocks, again, to verbalise opposition to this. But there's no clear candidate at the moment. No one's broken cover. These phone calls, you could imagine, would be happening as we speak right around the world at the moment. And the opportunists in the organisation or the organism of world football will be looking for whatever perhaps opportunities and cracks in the system that they could perhaps leverage.
Okay, like you said, Andy, 8 months is a very long time, even in football. Andy Harper, really good to get your insights there. Thank you very much.
It's always my pleasure. Thank you.